Hello, everybody. Thank you for rejoining relatively promptly. Appreciate that. So for this afternoon's session, we're really focusing on the sustainability agenda. As you all know by now, this is a really important agenda for IMPA. We've been working in this arena for more than 10 years now. And I'm delighted to introduce Tina from John T. Essberger, who's going to set the scene for this, just sort of explaining what it means for shipping companies to be sustainable. And we're delighted to welcome Tina, who's prepared to stand up here and speak. So let's give her a nice warm welcome, huh? Thank you, Tina.
Thank you so much. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed all the very good lunch. So, and still awake, I hope, right? Okay, good. So I'm starting with my presentation. Same will be very general. Our fleet is very special. We are trading on a spot market and have tiny tanker vessels. So, and to catch everybody of you, so it's a little bit more general. So I will verbally explain a little bit of our best practices so that you know, but for sure there are some other shipping companies and ship owners who are doing it very, very differently, yeah? And one more word, prior starting about sustainability, AI, and such as, the very, very ground rule is you have to know what you are doing. You have to know your vessels. You have to know what your vessels are in need for. You have to know your colleagues on board and ashore. And of course, you have to know your suppliers. And of course, your customers. And this is the base rule, not regulations, not anything else. You have to know people and you have to know what you are doing, right? Means train your purchasing department. The technicians here, okay, good. So, as I said, this will be a little bit a general overview. So understanding marine procurement is, of course, sourcing and acquiring essential goods and services. This is all what we need, yeah? And no. So traditionally, procurement focused on cost efficiency and availability. This, of course, changes now significantly. So we have to consider, minimize, not only waste pollution, but also to monitor, again, what we are doing to improve environmental impact and our footprints, CO2 footprints. Means here, source your spare parts. Where are they coming from? Are they coming from a sustainable source? What this will include, I will show later on. And of course, we have here to manage our fuel and energy sources, we have to ensure our ship components and equipment, where it's coming from, and our operational supplies, how we are doing what. And again, know what you are doing, yeah? This all, if you have this put and you have your processes, then it's easier to work on environmental and sustainability footprints you are leaving on this world. Any questions so far? Okay. Good. Key components. Everybody knows this. Supplier selection. Choose reliable suppliers and vendors that comply with your standards, but also with the sustainability standards. This is very important. Check them. Go and visit them. And I hope you all do. Resource optimization, reducing waste by procuring only what is necessary. Again, know what you are doing. You have to go on board. You have to check so that you are not buying the 100,000th times, what was the example? Screwdriver, right? Earlier today. And technology integration, using digital systems for better inventory and supply chain management. At John T. Essberger, we are not doing that properly at the moment, but of course we are monitoring. So we are very much in need to have assistance here. Yeah. Is doing any from the shipping companies using digital systems? I'm not talking about purchasing systems or something. So we are facing challenges in the marine procurement to become sustainable. Of course, it's high initial cost. When we are thinking about packing, not using too much plastics and such as, what is eco-friendly? Do we have alternatives? Also alternative fuels and come often with higher costs. Are we willing to contribute financially to change something here, to keep an eye on our environment? Then, of course, we have the regulatory compliance. Compliance to global environment standards. This is complex and costly. Everybody knows. So, and we all have to dive deep and have to find our way. And again, we have to know what we are doing to see what we can do here. How can we contribute? So, and not only to comply with stricter international regulations like IMO 2020, sulfur cap. Yeah. We have to adapt here. Then, of course, we have the famous carbon emissions from shipping. Everybody knows that also procurement often involves extensive logistics and contribute to the pollution. Means where you source your spare parts, where do you store them, when you want to have it where, and so on. And don't send every tiny little order from Shanghai to Rotterdam, for example. Sources consolidated in a hub, have a reliable partner, who you know, and then go ahead and build up your proper supply chain. Yeah. So what we have here, waste management, very famous in purchasing, procurement. Packing, what are we doing? So do we have suppliers who are willing to pack their spare parts properly, but in a better alternative, not only plastics? At Essberger, we are doing it at the moment. We have a trial with one of our freight forwarders. They are repacking for us. So means they receive from our suppliers spare parts. And if we give the okay, because sometimes it's not allowed, we give the okay, they do repack. And they give the waste, like plastics and cardboard and wood from the pallets and such as, in the German recycling process. So this means we not only spare wastes, which we are giving on board. Our vessels are tiny, as I just mentioned. So we don't have that much storage capacity anyways, and we cannot store all the garbage on board. So means by this we have 2 points. We are not overfilling our vessels with loads and loads of plastics and cardboards. This is 1 point. They can store it better. And we have the proof that we gave this and that amount of cardboard, woods, plastics into the German recycling circle. Yeah. Protect the marine life. This is easy said, right? We just, for example, changed our paint supplier because the hull coating wasn't good. The anti-fouling wasn't good. So the anti-fouling came down like after, I think it was 2 months, after dry docking. So this is something which, first of all, nobody wants to pay for. And secondly, where is it? Yeah, it's in the ocean. So this is not a very good idea. Of course, on the long run, it all ends up there. But we have to have here better solutions, which protecting our assets, of course, which is the vessel. And we have to make here a change and use better anti-fouling, for example. Furthermore, John T. Essberger installed new ballast water treatment systems. This was a very long project. It was like 2 years in total, but now we finalized everything. And of our course, our new buildings are perfectly fine fitted. Yeah. We have supply chain limitations, everybody knows. Availability in general, but availability of a sustainable products, it's difficult to get them across the area. We are facing, when we have to get something from China because the machinery was built in China, or such as, do they really have the same standards, following the same regulations, like Germany does, for example? So this is very difficult, and we are forced to dive deep here. And of course, we have to know our suppliers, and we also have to trust them somehow. I mean, you have to trust every supplier here and there to a certain point. Yeah. So any questions so far, or what is your company doing when it comes to protect the marine life? Do you also change some anti-fouling or invest in ballast water treatment systems using better additives? Okay, good. Then I just continue. So, sustainable procurement and strategies to overcome these challenges. We have to adopt sustainable procurement policies. What does that mean? As I mentioned before, eco-friendly materials. Yeah? There is so much what we can do. For example, just a small example on board of our vessels, we kicked out air freshener, open the window, or shower more, yeah? And we kicked out the laundry softener, also a tiny little bit, and it was a chaos on board because they didn't like it. They love their laundry softener and they love their air freshener for sure. So, but now they have to adapt, and it's much getting better. Beside of the fact that the laundry softener destroys too many other things on board, like the pipes, but you know, if you know what you are doing, you know what I mean. Lower emission, renewable fuel alternatives. This is also very famous at the moment, but there is so resources at the moment and researches as well. Investing in biofuels, bio-LNG or methanol-powered ships. So this is easy to say, but we know by now methanol or methanol-ready, yeah, this sounds very good, but at the moment it's state-of-the-art, but what will be in 5 years? So research here is very, very much needed. If you're building a ship now and you have it in 2 years, maybe methanol is not state-of-the-art anymore. So in this here, it's very, very difficult to adjust what we do. Again, know what you are doing. Don't jump on the first train, which is riding fast, very fast, but maybe it's not good enough for your needs and your fleet. And another very, very difficult point is ethical sourcing. Ensuring that marine products come from responsible suppliers. What does that mean? Are they treating their employees good or not? Where does it start? If an employee has been treated well or not. What can we do? How can we have a look at it? In Europe, in Germany, it's easy. You can just have a visit, pay a visit to your suppliers, and have a look around. If a learning like this, then maybe something is fishy, but most probably not. But if you have an Asian supplier, for example, or manufacturer, we don't know if there are employees who are underage. We don't know that. We have to trust them here and maybe pay a visit. Disagree or agree? Thank you. So, then we have the next wonderful topics. Energy efficient technology using AI-driven inventory systems. We just talked about this in the panel discussion. So, and as has been discussed, JT is monitoring. So we are not the first one riding this bike, to be honest, yeah? So, and this is also something, what has been said as well, how can we integrate it? Do we have the resources to integrate? Do we have the technology to integrate? This is also very, very difficult, but it is, of course, something what we have to do. Yeah? What John T. Essberger is doing, circular economy practices, means repairing and reusing materials instead of discarding. But this is easy said for us. Our fleet is quite aging. So we have a lot of vessels, are 25 and even more years. So the machinery on board, it's not manufactured anymore. So we have to have reliable service partners which are overhauling our aging machinery. So far, it turns out good. Supply chain management, we have discussed in the morning already. Sourcing and supplier selection, finding reliable and compliant suppliers for ship parts, fuels, and provisions. And again, you have to know what you are doing. You have to know what is in need for your fleet. And you cannot believe everything what is coming from the vessel, to be honest. So they are looking up something in the IMPA catalog, for example, and they overlook that they have to fill in details. So they are just sending a requisition, and the IMPA number is stated very nicely. This is nice, but they missed to put down dimensioned measurements, power systems, and such as. It's a bit annoying, but this is happening here as well. Again, and here you have to know what you are doing. So, and then you can find reliable suppliers. A supplier who understands you when you are sending a requisition which is not fully explained, but he says, yeah, okay, then I know. And then this makes your life easier. And if you know each other well, then you know that he or she or it complies. This goes for purchasing and contracting. It's more or less the same, to me at least. Negotiating contracts, part of the business. Managing cost, part of the business since decades and centuries. And ensuring quality standard, here it's the point. How low are we willing to go? Are we really willing to pay the cheapest price? Or do we want to have the best quality possible for a price we are willing to pay? So means get your OPEX together, know what you are doing, and don't supply too low standard quality, because then you have to buy it once again. And then you're ending up at the price of the better item, product, tool anyways, because it's simply not usable on board. Logistics and warehousing, one of my favorite topics, transporting and storing materials at key ports. So our tanker fleet, they have not a worldwide trade. So we are trading North Europe up to Mediterranean Sea only, which seems to be good. But since our vessels are trading on the spot market, means we seldomly know a week before where the vessel will be. Will it be in Barcelona, or will we end up in Porvoo in Finland? We don't know that. So this means key ports, it's not that relevant for us. We just have international warehousing with our partner, and we have a huge warehouse in Rotterdam. So we are trusting these guys, and in case of need, of course, they can send it everywhere we want to. But in general, we try to equip our vessels in our port. And then we have it on spot. From Hamburg to Rotterdam is not so far away. So, and since we have to send barges with every delivery, we want to send everything on one barge only, including provision and such as. And again, we have to inform our suppliers and our freight forwarders and logistics partners so that they can collect everything together for us in time to arrange delivery on board timely. And for sure, always something is missing. Or do you get it going that always everything is on board, what the vessel wants? Yeah, yes. So we are missing always something, and but lately, thanks God, no news are good news. So I demand the master to just send an email if the delivery arrived. he says nothing, then okay, it arrived. For sure it arrived. And if he sends an email, then for sure something is missing. Or tomatoes are spoiled or something like this. Just kidding. So, delivery and inventory management. Ensuring just-in-time delivery to avoid delays and unnecessary stockpiling. So this is more a general topic to me, because as I said, our vessels are trading on the spot market, so we cannot plan that. We just can consolidate and hoping for the best and jump to the next best port possible. So, and we do have stockpiling here and there, just simply because the vessels are not calling the ARA range or not calling Europe. They are far away, and we cannot do it in time. Because if we are sending a truck down to Tarragona, for example, then the vessel is gone anyways. So sometimes we just have 48 hours to send something from Rotterdam to Spain, for example. So this is really a difficult challenge for us. For other shipping companies, I think could be much easier if they have a long-term schedule, which we don't have. Na, Klaus? Any questions here so far? Remarks? Comments? Okay. So, now, it's getting a bit boring. Or not. Global regulations and industry trends. So, IMO and UN Sustainable Development Goals are promoting the following key regulations. MARPOL Convention, everybody heard about it, correct? Aims to prevent marine pollution from ships. What can we do here? Again, searching for different fuel alternatives and such as, and anti-fouling, and you go for it. This is coming from there. Then we have the EU Green Deal for maritime transport, encourages carbon neutrality, net zero operations by 2050. This is a challenge for sure. Corporate sustainability reporting. So businesses are now required to disclose their environmental impact. How we can do that? We have to learn about it. I don't know. I have an idea, but at the moment, real knowledge, I don't have, to be honest. But I know we have to do something. And only if you know what you are doing, then you are going forward here and can find the best solution for your fleet and for your company. So, this is a short overview, what the SDGs provides as key points, how to find for your company the best way to comply. Responsible consumption and production. Okay, there we know on which suppliers we have to invest more and find solutions with them together. Climate action, life below water, okay, and partnerships for these goals. So this sounds easy, it's nice, but we all have to dive here into. We have to make sure that we know what we are talking and want and need and what we have to do. It's regulations, right? And we want to comply. So just shortly, what we can do at the moment, avoid multiple transports to the vessels. Yeah? Limited single-use plastics, responsible disposal. It's a little bit easier. Circular practice, such as you said, refurbish and remanufacture it, what I explained before. So this is a little bit easier, but here it's only the start. From here we can start and try to make it better. Most probably some companies are better than we are, but we try. So, here is also my conclusion. Sustainable and responsible marine procurement is necessary. We all know that. We have to adopt greener sourcing practices. We have to make better choices, use new technologies, and committing to this. At the moment, it's financial commitment, because we have to pay more for environmental packing, we have to pay more for biofuels, we have to pay more here, there, and whatsoever. This is very complicated, but we all have to know what we are doing, and we have to stick together here and try to find a way. Learn from each other, share best practices. So, and everybody here, all stakeholders, have to work together. The government bodies, ship owners, suppliers, consumers / your customers. And that's it. I'm done.
I thought that was a perfect introduction for our afternoon session, Tina, and thank you very much. I think if I had to summarize Tina's presentation, I was at the back thinking I would call it thoughtful procurement, because what Tina said was we should move from price and availability to thoughtful procurement, working harder around what to buy that is really necessary, avoiding waste. Develop relationships with suppliers, which we talked about what you're buying. Choosing suppliers as well, based on their credentials and values around sustainability. Thoughtful logistics, avoiding costs wherever possible. And, you know, somebody said it this morning, and we've been saying this at IMPA for a long time, that actually the job in procurement is far more interesting than it was 10 years ago. If you adopt the thoughtful procurement mindset, that actually buying and being a procurement executive these days is much more detailed, much more intense, much more looking at the information that is around what you're buying. And as Tina said very well, I think, you know, not just price and availability, and that's a key thing. But to achieve these factors, we need standards. We need collaboration. We need forums like this. We need to work together. We need to share ideas. We have to be creative. And IMPA is working to such a standard. And you are all very much welcome to be joining this. So I think this very much introduces Rasmus, our next speaker, one of our driving forces behind the IMPA Save initiative, to talk about exactly that. But for now, I really want to thank Tina for her wonderful efforts again. Thank you.